It is a world of quiet industry, hidden just beneath the surface. Here, life is not merely found, it is cultivated. This is aquaculture, ancient and yet profoundly modern, farming the waters. It is, in its essence, agriculture carried out in rivers, lakes, the great expanse of the ocean. Instead of tilling soil for crops, humanity has learned to tend to aquatic creatures, fish, shellfish, seaweeds. This endeavor, born of necessity and ingenuity, now provides a staggering portion of the seafood consumed by our ever-growing global population. The roots of this practice stretch back through millennia. In ancient China, some 4,000 years ago, people noticed that when river levels fell after a flood, fish would become trapped in small pools. Early farmers began to stock ponds with young carp, feeding and protecting them until they were large enough to eat. What began as simple fish trapping evolved slowly but surely. The world of aquaculture is not a single entity. It unfolds across three distinct realms of water. The first, and perhaps most familiar, is freshwater. The rivers that carve through continents, the serene lakes, and the purpose-built ponds that dot the landscape. This environment is the domain of species like carp, catfish, and the incredibly adaptable tilapia. These fish have been farmed for centuries, their resilience making them ideal candidates for cultivation in controlled, human-made habitats far from the coast. Between the land and the vast ocean lies a transitional world, the brackish water realm. This is a place of mixing, where fresh water from rivers meets the salt water of the sea. The salinity here is in constant flux, a challenging but rewarding environment for aquaculture. Species that thrive in these conditions, such as the sought-after tiger prawn and the versatile milkfish, have evolved to tolerate these changes. Farmers have cleverly integrated aquaculture into these zones, sometimes using traditional rice paddies during the off-season to raise shrimp, a perfect example of harmonizing food production with natural cycles. Finally, we reach the immense and powerful marine environment. Farming in the sea is known as mariculture, and it represents one of the most dynamic frontiers of aquaculture. Great shoals of salmon swim within enormous net pens, while oysters and mussels, the filter feeders of the ocean, grow attached to intricate structures suspended in the water column. Seaweeds, the forests of the ocean, are also farmed extensively, capturing carbon and providing valuable products for food and industry. Each of these three water types presents its own set of challenges and opportunities for the farmer. The most traditional and widespread form of aquaculture takes place in earthen ponds. A pond is a carefully constructed, self-contained body of fresh water. A farmer must select a site with great care, seeking clay-rich soil that holds water effectively. Access to a reliable water source is absolutely critical. Nearby river, a well. The layout is meticulously planned, often a series of ponds connected by channels that allow controlled movement of water for filling, draining, managing water quality. In these ponds, a strategy called composite fish culture, or polyculture, is often used. It raises several species together in the same space. For instance, a farmer might stock a pond with surface-feeding catfish, mid-water feeding tilapia, bottom-feeding carp. Each species occupies a different niche and eats different foods: phytoplankton, zooplankton, detritus on the pond floor. That combination uses resources fully and boosts yield. Pen culture is a different approach, blurring enclosed and natural systems. Pens are built in shallow, calm waters like a lake, coastal bay. Unlike ponds, pens use the natural lake or seabed as the bottom. Netting encloses the area. There is greater water exchange. Pens can feel more natural, but they are more susceptible to incoming pollutants, diseases from wild fish, and predators. Managing pens requires balancing, leveraging the natural environment, and protecting farmed stock from risks and unpredictability. That is basically how ponds and pens shape the blue harvest. As aquaculture has expanded into deeper and more open waters, The cage has become one of its most iconic tools. Cage culture involves confining fish within a netted enclosure that is submerged in a larger body of water, a lake, a river, the open ocean. A typical cage system has several key components. A rigid frame provides the structure. A large net bag forms the enclosure. A system of floats or collars keeps it buoyant. Heavy anchors tether it to the seabed. There are two primary types of cages, defined by their position in the water. Floating cages bob on the surface and are ideal for deep water. They rise and fall with the water level, maintaining volume. Fixed cages are used in shallower areas. Their frames are attached to posts driven into the substrate. In both systems, constant flow through the mesh is crucial, replenishing oxygen and flushing away waste. Managing life inside these cages is a daily science. Farmers must provide a complete, nutritionally balanced feed. This feed is carefully dispensed to encourage growth and minimize pollution. Fish are monitored constantly for stress or disease, divers' underwater cameras. Nets are checked for tiers that could let fish escape or predators enter. Advantages: it uses existing water bodies instead of converting land into ponds. It is ideal for large-scale production of high-value species like salmon, sea bass, cobia. The rise of aquaculture offers tremendous promise for humanity. At its most fundamental level, it is a powerful tool for ensuring food security. Fish farms can be established in coastal communities. Fish farms can be established in inland communities. This industry is also a significant engine of economic growth, creating millions of jobs. It is generally more efficient in converting feed into protein than terrestrial livestock farming. Certain types of aquaculture, like the farming of shellfish and seaweed, can even be restorative. One of the most visible problems is the potential for pollution. If not properly managed, this nutrient overload can lead to harmful algal blooms that starve the water of oxygen. When animals are raised in high densities, pathogens can spread with alarming speed. The escape of farmed fish from their enclosures is a serious issue. Predators, from clever seals to flocks of seabirds, are naturally drawn to the dense concentrations of fish in farms, leading to conflicts between farmers and wildlife. As we look toward the horizon, it is clear that aquaculture is not merely an option, but a necessity. Refinement, responsibility, the pursuit of truly sustainable, eco-friendly practice. Promote integrated systems. Seaweed, shellfish, finfish. Absorb excess nutrients and clean the water. Invest in research for alternative feed ingredients. Use advanced technology for real-time monitoring. Selecting appropriate sites far from sensitive habitats. Managing stocking densities. Implementing robust biosecurity measures. Commitment from farmers. Commitment from scientists. Commitment from policymakers. With care and foresight, this ancient practice can forge a secure, sustainable future. A vision of hope. Feed humanity while preserving biodiversity. Nurturing life beneath the water for a sustainable future for all.